In this video for sketching perspective boxes, we're going to have a look at doing boxes above, below a horizon line, and also some boxes that go through. So the first thing we need to do is sketch out our horizon line. Now, if this is too difficult to do by hand, just with a normal sketch, then of course you could use a ruler to guarantee that that line is straight. So if I just start by sketching what is my horizon line, and what we're going to do is imagine that our vanishing points are approximately here at the side of the page. So I'll start this by sketching a few vertical lines only. So I'm just going to do a vertical line here. Okay, let's bring this straight down. Usually when I'm doing this, I would of course move my page, but just for the purposes of filming, I'm going to try and keep everything straight. So I'm dragging the line towards me. So I'm going to start with this line and say that this is the corner of a vertical box that's going to go through our horizon line. I'm going to put a point on the bottom of the box there. And then what I want to do is imagine joining this to the side of my work over here. Okay, so I'm going to do this freehand without the use of a ruler. So I'm just going to, in this case, have to change my body position just so I can get my diagonal line. I'm going to do the same for this side. So let's go up here. Okay, something like that. Then what I want to do is decide on the sides of my box. Okay, so just like normal, in normal perspective sketching, I'm going to do two sides of the box. And again, what I'm going to do this time is do a vertical line and another vertical line. What I want to do now is decide on the top of the box. So I'm going to do the top here and connect this to both vanishing points. So it's about something like that. And at that point there, going across over here, very kind of flat angle, something like that, which gives me my first 2-point perspective box. And of course, because the box goes above the horizon line, we can't see the top face or the top surface. So now let's do another box. And the best way to do this is just to start off by drawing a vertical line in different places. So let's do one, I don't know, we'll just do one over here. A vertical line like that. And this time I'm going to do perhaps quite a flat box. So we'll do this, and then what we want to do is there's our vanishing point over there. So decide on a point, point's there. Okay, that one's terrible. It's missing by a long way. Let's just try and get a slightly better angle. Of course, this is way easier if you use a ruler. So there's the line going that way. Now on this side, of course, because it's closer to the vanishing point, it's going to be much steeper angle, but something like that. Let's decide on the side of a box. So there's one side. Let's decide on this one. I'm actually going to do this so it comes in here a little bit, like the example sheet. So there's a vertical line. Let's pick where the top of my box wants to be. Okay, let's say something like that. Again, to the vanishing point. This time we need to flatten to the vanishing point, pretty much right, and then flatten again, because we've got a long way to go across. Something like that, which is going to give us a second box. This is bird's eye view, because we can look down. This is our horizon line here. We can look down and see the top of the box. If we wanted a worm's eye view, two ways of doing it. One is just to sketch here, and the second way, kind of a bit of a cheat way, is just to turn your page upside down and just draw another bird's eye view. Most people find bird's eye view slightly easier, but if I just show you, same principle. So let's just sketch vertical line here. Let's put a point, 2 points on the line. I'm going to connect to my vanishing point, to vanishing point. That one's terrible. Something like that. Let's just decide on side of the line. There's the side of my box. I'm doing it here to here. That was a bad line. And we'll do one. We'll keep this one fairly long. Something like that. Connect this vanishing point over here, and lastly this one over there, which is going to give us something like that. As you can see, one of the important things here is generally it's going to be to sketch very lightly. Of course, one of the things we can do is use existing geometry. So a box here, so I could, carrying on my angles here, find this bottom point here and actually use that as a starting point for another box. So let's do something like that. Then I could say, right, okay, now let's put in a vertical line. So there's a vertical line, kind of. And then using that as a corner, going off to my vanishing point, let's now pick side of this box. So there's a vertical line. Let's make a decision on the height of this box. So maybe here, let's go something like that. Let's go on this side. That one's terrible, that one's missing, needs to flatten. And again, that one's even still not very good. That's a little bit better. And then just make a decision on where the back of this box you want it to be. So let's put that point there. Excuse me. And then we will just something like that, okay? And so if, just for the purpose of this, if I just fine line pen, you should be able to see my perspective boxes on my sheet. Fairly light on that one. Let's just try that one a bit better. Let's get a front corner there. And you can see that without a ruler, just sketching in a 2-point perspective sheet, like the example. Of course, as I said, the example is far more accurate. And if you wish, you could download that as an example sheet to use, or even better than that, create your own with boxes wherever you want the boxes to be. Of course, what I would do after doing this part now is I would add thick and thin lines. So thick on the outer edges, thin on the inner edges. And the last thing also as well is to, wherever you have the boxes, is to put in the horizon line. It's really important. You don't put in the vanishing points, but the horizon line helps set everything on the sheet. Following that, of course, once you've got your light source, you could choose where you might have shadows coming across. So, and the shadow angles would all be the same. The idea of this is that this is floating here. So perhaps this is one where we would have our shadows. Actually, the shadow would be a bit more like this. We might have a shadow coming underneath, like there. Okay. Something like that, and then actually going up on something like this here. So you end up with, and this is just a quick representation of the shadow, but it could be something perhaps. Let's just get that a little bit better. Okay, if I just pencil in, you can see what we could do is give the idea that this is actually, this box is floating in midair. And that's all done really through the use of the shadow. Okay, and then so on. We have boxes in, and so on and so on. Okay, so that's sketching out the sheet in 2-point perspective blocks.